Thank you for joining us today for Evaluating Your Idea Before It's Too Late, the Job to Be Done Way, presented by Joanne Ariaku. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Joanne for the presentation.
Thank you, Lexi. Hello, everyone. Very, very, very nice to be here. I would love to see a little bit about you in the chat. Tell me, are you a business owner already? Are you thinking of starting a business? Did you start a business and it flopped? You know, the idea did not work out. If you can, please put in the chat any thoughts to that effect. And if you really want to unmute and speak, you absolutely can do that too. I think you can. Well, let me watch the chat so that I make sure that I get to know you. And while you are putting that in the chat, I am going to tell you a little bit about me. And my name is Joanne Ayebo Oparo Eriaku. I know it's a lot of names. I'm from Africa. Some of us have names, but each of those names I'm putting them all there because at different phases in my life, you know, different names were carried. And so I just want you to know the fullness of who you're dealing with over here. I have a couple of businesses on my belt. There is the venture operating system, which is really for those who are starting their ideas from scratch. It's basically from concept to the first customer all the way to the time you are a fully fledged running company. That's what the venture operating system is. And the boot camp that sort of like consolidates all that knowledge from the venture operating system is called the Fever Project. Okay, Fever Bootcamp, Fever Project, that's really what it's all about. It's really about helping business owners to thrive. And then the latest one is the School of AI Readiness, which, as you all know by now, you know, ChatGPT and all its cousins in AI are coming for us. I'm kidding, they're not coming for us, but you kind of know what I mean. You know, it's all over us, we're all under pressure. So I just, so that there were very few resources for us smaller to medium-sized business owners. And so that's what the School of AI Readiness is really. It's really more for the smaller to medium-sized enterprises to really be able to master this thing called AI and what to do about it. So that's a little bit about me. Now let me check the chat and see what you said about you. Okay. I see here, oh, wow, thank you. I see Kim. Kim, you're starting. You also had another business. Kim, I'm going to assume that means that the idea, you know, didn't work out. You can put in the chat to clarify. Roxanne is working full-time, but thinking of starting a business. Okay, thank you, Roxanne. Judith, founder. Just started. Perfect timing. Yes. Okay. Michelle had a business and assisting others. Great. Okay. Lovely. I'm really glad I'm getting to know who's in the room so that I can make sure that I am taking care of us all and not leaving anyone out. Ashley is also trying to start up a business. Okay. I have a good understanding now. We're either planning on starting a new business or already started a new business. Or already had one whose idea did not work out. Okay, so let's get into it now. Enough about me. And here's a statistic for all of us to sort of like digest. The thing which I want you to note the most is the biggest reason why most businesses fail. These are global statistics. This is not only US. When you come to US, it's even worse. That 42% is actually almost 53%. But if we could just pause a little bit right there and think about it. Basically, that's half of the people who start a business, actually their business fails because they created something that either people did not want or there was just no need for the thing. Now you, the business owner, I'm sure you are so passionate about it. You're like, oh my God, my idea. I'm so excited about it. You know how it is, right? And the world did not buy it. Like, oh, that is so painful. That is so sad. So part of the reason why we're here today really is, so I'm on a mission to sort of like change that statistic and just really help people start from before you go all in, before you commit too many resources, how can you prove the concept, prove the idea first before you then, pile on all the resources and then your heart gets broken. That's what really today is about. Just so you know, I personally have lost about 4 businesses. Every single time, super painful. So I get it. Like, I'm not talking just theory here. This is real. And the statistic, now that in total, I've created about 17 businesses. I know it's crazy. 4 of those ended really poorly. Okay, so the statistic kind of applies to me also, at least more than 40% of my businesses. Okay, so why does this happen? Feel free to put in the chat why you think this happens. This is, oh, I forgot to say, this is going to be an interactive session. I'm not the only one talking to myself, okay? I would like to hear you. I would like to hear your thoughts. I would like to hear, and like, why do you think that half of us, it's you, it's us, it's me, start businesses, and then half the market actually does not need them? Any thoughts? You can put it in the chat. And if there are no thoughts, don't worry. I got you on the next slide. This is not a trick question, by the way. I genuinely want to understand. Okay, lack of planning. Okay. Feasibility research is hard and time consuming. Okay. Didn't research the need beforehand. Yeah, Roxanne, say that. Kim, marketing maybe? Wait, Kim, let me push you a little bit on that, Kim. Imagine the worst product you've ever thought of. Don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know what it is. But are you telling me that good marketing would have made it become a successful business? See what I mean, right? Like, what I'm trying to say is sometimes, okay, you're marketing something that is not really great, and the business flops just because it's the product, it's not the marketing. You can have the best marketing in the world, and the product still flops. Mary Jo, you said insufficient funding. Oh, that's a perpetual reason, yes. Funds are always the thing, but that's why I'm saying before you go all in financially and with whichever resources, don't go big yet until you've proof of concept. Okay, this is really what this is about, proof of concept. Okay, not being realistic about cost to produce. Okay, so we all are actually bringing up very valid ideas, and this is from the observations that I've made so far. On what causes this really. One of the biggest reasons is just the way in which we do business right now, our default journey. Okay, let me explain. So you have an idea, okay? And what happens is, you decide, oh, I'm going to write up a business plan, which is not bad, okay? Just follow me here. I may say some things here which may feel a little controversial or a little, but what in the world is she talking about? I promise you, it's going to make sense at the end of the day. The default journey that we take these days when we have an idea is we go straight into business planning mode, partially because most financial institutions, if you're seeking external funding, require a plan, okay? Regardless of whether the idea is proven or not, the plan is more important to them than proof of concept. But let me keep going. Let me not get controversial yet, okay? Then we launch the idea. We have the plan, right? Okay, now let's launch it, right? Then what happens? Well, that's where, it's about hoping that it's going to work out, or it's about really pushing, waking up at 4 a.m. or whatever it is, whatever hustle means to you, just keep pushing that rock, no matter how hard it is, until either the rock breaks you or you just maintain that. Some people maintain that for a long time. Now, I want to clarify, do not get me wrong. Business is generally hard, okay? It's tough. Even successful businesses are tough on their owners because it's on your shoulders. You know, you are responsible for it. And so understand that I'm not saying that it's supposed to be easy. It will always have some element of being tough, okay? However, there are certain things which have to start working out by a certain stage, okay? There's got to reach a point when you start having customers, and not just one-off customers, but repeat customers. There's got to be a stage where you get to where actual money is coming in, where you used to carry the business initially, but then now it can start to either break even or carry itself to the point of profitability. Those are things which need to happen at some point. If you find yourself going for too long, and too long is very subjective, if you find yourself going for too long without any of those two happening, it's time to really go back to the drawing board and ask yourself whether you're going to keep going or whether this idea has not worked out. Okay. All right. So this is the default journey. Now, my recommended journey, and what we're really going to do today, is really, before we go into planning mode, can we start first by acknowledging that the idea that we have has not yet been tested. It's still an assumption. It's a hypothesis. Okay. You have an idea, you think it will work out. It has not yet been proven to work out. So in order to prove that it works out, let's go and test this idea live in the market without committing too many resources, okay? Commit just enough resources, enough for you to have what they call a viable product. Viable means it is representative enough of what you want to bring to market. Okay, you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. I'll give you an example. At a minimum, a phone should be able to text and make phone calls. That's at a minimum what a phone can do. Everything else is extra. When these phone companies started, they did not start with all these bells and whistles. They started with the minimum viable product. Can it text? Can it call? That's it. So that's the equivalent of whatever that is for your business. That is what you're going to test in the market. And based upon the evidence which you gather from your test, and I am going to show you how to test a business. That's what today is really about. Based upon that evidence, then you refine your idea and you say, maybe they don't like this part. Maybe I should remove this part. Or, you know what, maybe this is actually not necessary. Or, you know what, I'm realizing they really want this particular feature. I need to blow this part up. So the market will always give you evidence. And market is just a big word for saying people. We human beings, we are the market. Sometimes you are your own market. And so it helps to understand it. Just speak to real people, real human beings, not a survey, actual speaking to people. We're going to go there. Okay, let me move along. Let me move along. So today we're going to start with context. Okay, then we're going to go into a theory. It's a theory called job to be done theory. Okay, it's existed for probably 2.5 decades. And it's really a theory of how stuff works. Okay, that's why we're calling it a theory. So we're going to go into the job to be done theory. Then we're going to go into how to actually design for value. Because at the end of the day, an idea has to be valuable to the customer, to the market. Okay, and so we're going to say, okay, how exactly do you design for value? Like, does value just happen? Like, you know, is there a formula to this? Is this a science? Is this an art? This is really what this is about. And then if I behave well and end on time, we are going to take questions. So I do need to hurry up. Let's get along. Let's get along. Okay, first context. Okay, so every time you have an idea, this is sort of this was me scribbling. This is representative of how it is. At first, on the extreme left, it's very messy. There's so much, you don't have clarity. Stuff is just, you're not sure of stuff. You're guessing your way through. It's kind of like you are walking through a very thick bushy area, and you don't know what's on the ground unless you maybe cut through the, through the bushes, and with whether it's a machete or whatever it is you're going to use, but you don't really know what you're dealing with, which is very, very different from when you are like on a well-paved, well-tarmacked road, which is just clear. You can see maybe, I don't know, a whole mile ahead of you. Okay, maybe a mile is too much, but you know what I mean. So this is sort of like this is similar to the journey of entrepreneurship, okay? When you're creating the new, when you're still anew, it's messy, there's too much uncertainty. We call that exploration. You're still exploring, okay? And then eventually you get to the point where you figured this thing out, Now you go more into what we call maintenance mode. You're more of exploiting the knowledge that you already have. Every business starts in the explore stage. Even the big ones that you see, you can name any. Amazon was once a startup, okay? Everybody was once a startup. And how you operate when you're just starting, how you do stuff is different from when you are now established. Now you have evidence, now you have proof of concept, and you have repeatable customers and repeatable recurring revenue. Sorry, not repeatable revenue, recurring revenue, okay? So basically, this is what it looks like. Okay? On the left side, this is all of you guys who said, I have an idea, or I'm just starting, or all of you guys who put that in the chat. This is your journey for now, okay? Eventually, you may get to the part where you're like that well-paved, beautiful looking road tracks where, just everything has been finessed, okay? Having said that, when you look at this, you get to understand that your position determines the type of tools that you will use, what will work for you, and what will not work for you. Just out of curiosity, can you put in the chat, if you're on the left side, the startup side, okay, the bushy side, and you need to walk through or go through, what kind of tools would you bring in such a case? Just put it in the chat. Machete? Yes. Roxanne? Yes, machete. That's it. I don't even can't, if anyone can think, boots. Yes, yes, that is true. Those are the tools you need for the bushy side, right? Compass. Oh yes, Michelle, you're gonna need a compass. Now, can you also, similarly, can you put what tools you would need to move on this other side, the well-paved side? Like what would you go with over there? Yes, Suzanne, you're gonna need an axe too. Axe and machete for the right side. All right, left side, where it's well-paved, what tools are you gonna use? Let's see it. Smooth wheels in a vehicle. I like that. Roxanne, you've got your game on. Yes, that is true. That is true. A bicycle, yep, you can cycle through that, 100%. But you cannot cycle through the bushy forested area. So this is an analogy to help explain why the tools that I'm introducing today are tools which are new. You might, okay, no, let me not say new. You might not have seen them used so often. They are not so highly publicized. They are publicized, but they're not highly used. Most of the tools like business plans and all that are perfect when you are on this well-paved side of the road, okay? When everything has worked out and you have evidence, okay? So you need to determine your position. You need to determine if you're on the well-paved side, you've proven concept, and how you'll know if you've proven concept is you have recurring revenue and repeat clients. That's your proof that it's working. If you're not there yet, you're somewhere here. You may not yet have understood the problem you're solving for, or you may not yet have understood the solution that you would like to solve that problem for the customer. So your position determines the tools that you use, okay? And specifically, this is what I meant when I said your position determines everything. It determines the strategy that you use when you're in explore mode, when you're still new. You're trying to exist. You don't even exist yet. You're either trying to exist or you're trying to survive, all right? Your focus at that time is more of searching and discovering to make sure that you have evidence that your idea works. That's your number one priority when you're still new. It's actually not profit. I am so sorry to say this. As a 17-time business owner, I have to say this. Your first priority is not profit. Your first priority is proof of concept. Once you have proof of concept, once you have validated your idea, then can you start having profitable dreams, okay? So let's go into validation. I should not spend too much time over on this side. Okay, so the tools that we're talking about, what are those tools? I'm glad I asked myself. Let's go into those tools. The first that I would like to talk about is the theory of jobs to be done. What on earth is that? Has anybody, please put in the chat, ever heard about jobs to be done? Is this brand new for you? Are you like, I don't know what you're talking about, Joanne? Or is it like, I've kind of heard about it? Or is it like, I'm really great at this. I know what it is. You can teach this class. Brand new, okay. Never heard, new to me. Okay, all right, brand new, many brand new. You know what? Okay, I think I've heard about it. Okay, Judith. All right, it's just somewhere in the head. All right, so let me demystify it. Okay, majority never heard. Let me do this like never heard, like it's majority never heard. Okay, let's go there. Okay, so what do you see here? For the purposes of time, I may push us, I may answer, I may both ask and answer myself. But if you're fast enough and you can put it in the chat, please put it in there. But what do you see here? Good, I love that. Mary, yes. So, okay, Roxanne, seen a drill. Anyone else seeing anything else? Holes, there you go. There's a 1/4-inch drill. There's a 1/4-inch hole. Yes, there's wood, but for the purposes of the discussion now, this is what I really want us to sort of like talk about, okay? Most of the time, people think that, let's say you are a manufacturer of the 1/4-inch of drills, okay? You manufacture drills, okay? That's your product. That's what you do. You think that people want your drill, okay? Exactly. I love that. Daniel knows something. Daniel knows something. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat simultaneously as I am. Yeah, because I'm interactive like that. I want to make sure that I'm being sensitive to all that you're saying. So if you're the manufacturer of the drill company, you own the company that creates the drills, you genuinely actually think that people are looking for your drill. Well, newsflash, people are not looking for your drill. You don't wake up in the morning and dream of having a drill. What you really want, the outcome that you're looking for, is you want a 1/4-inch hole somewhere in your house for something, okay? So this is not about the product. the drill. Every business, let me tell you, I don't care what business you're in, it's not about your product. It actually is not. Neither is it, shockingly, this is where it gets controversial. I'm sorry, but I have to say this, people. Neither is it about the customer. I know you've heard this said so many times, the customer is king, the customer is king, and they are, but it's not the way you think they are king. They are king, but it's the outcomes that they're looking for that are king. The outcomes are actually the job. That's what's king, the customer's job. Like these folks, can you put it in the chat? What is the outcome they were looking for? Why did they find the drill? Why did they go buy the drill or find the drill from the basement or wherever they were? What is the job? Like when you look at this, what is the job they were trying to get done? Exactly, they wanted to hang the pictures. Exactly. So everything that you can think of, you're not necessarily in love with the product, but you're in love with how the product helps you get the job done. Yes, Danielle, you can also go into the memory part. It can be, jobs can be emotional too, and we're going to get there. They can be functional and they can be emotional. We're going to get there, okay? So let's roll. This is the definition of what a job to be done is. I'm not going to read every single word. You are actually going to have this recording and you're going to have these slides also. But what I want you to note, most importantly, is people hire products or services to get a specific job done in their lives. It's not about the product, it's about the job. In other words, you can also call the job an outcome, okay? By the way, if you have any questions for me, if this is sounding a little too controversial, you can put it in the chat. I promise we will get to it. This is a simpler definition. I'm not going to describe read every word, but it's really about what are the outcomes? What are the outcomes? What are the outcomes my customers are looking for? That's what it is. So you can create your beautiful product, but if it does not help the customer to get the job done, it's not really going to work. So your number one priority is really to understand that job, okay? Now, I want to explain a little bit more about jobs. Let me make sure I'm on time. Let me just check. Okay, I am on time. I'm going to drill down onto the job to be done by going through the 5 key concepts, okay, about jobs to be done. And I'm going to go slide by slide so that we get it and we get it real good. Because like you said, this is new to you. So we've already done number 1, people hire jobs to get a specific job done, okay? We've already done this part. I'm not going to talk about it. Basically, it's about what is the goal they're trying to accomplish, okay? Like if I asked you, why did you go to the cinema? It's not that you love the cinema, but you loved what the cinema was going to do for you. When you go to the cinema with your children, that's a different job from when you go yourself, from when you go with your spouse, you know, different jobs. When you go with your children, you're probably just trying to get the children out of your hair. You're trying to find something to occupy them. It has nothing to do with the fact that there is a cinema. You're not necessarily in love with the cinema. You just want the children occupied, okay? So that's the outcome you're looking for, entertainment, okay? I've already said this before. The job is not a description of what they're doing, but it's the outcome they're looking for. That's key. I know I've kept saying it. Moving along, I believe it was Daniel who put it in the chat, or somebody put it in the chat. When he was talking about the folks hanging the picture, it was about the emotional side of having the picture hang up. You know, I agree with that. The job, you can go deeper instead of thinking about your customers in terms of the functional reason why they're doing their job, why they're doing their job. You can go to the emotional reason. You can even go to the social reason. I mean, does anyone know what this is? This picture over here, and how much it costs? Because that's going to help. That's going to help explain why this picture is up here. Anybody got any idea what this is? Let me see the chat. Oh yeah. Oh, Mary Jo, man. Yeah, you're onto it. It is a Rolex. Anybody got an idea how much a Rolex is? Don't go to Google, no cheating. Guess how much a Rolex watch is? 35, 25. Oh, Mary Jo, they're not 35. Closer to what Kim's got up. They are bloody expensive. I will say that. Very, very, very expensive. But there are watches for, I don't know how much. If you go to Amazon, you'll probably find a watch for maybe what, $60 maybe. Like, so functionally speaking, you can get a $60 watch. So if all that you really wanted was just to be able to tell the time, you could get the $60 watch. Why on earth does someone buy a Rolex? I can tell you this, it has nothing to do with function. It has everything to do with social and exactly, Michelle, status. All right. So, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's not good. Hey, I like nice stuff also. So it's okay for you to create products for your customers which serve their functional, social, or emotional needs. Not every product has to be purely about function. Okay, that's why we have the Ritz-Carlton and then we have the Holiday Inn. Each will be full each night with their target customers. Okay, that is okay. So all that I'm saying is when you're thinking of the job to be done, you should not only be thinking about watches are to tell the time. No, you should be thinking about the person who I want to buy this. What do I want them to feel? What do I want them to walk away with? What job do they have that my product is fulfilling? Okay, all right, I need to move along. So that's the second characteristic of jobs. The third one is that jobs are solution agnostic. I'm going to go a little bit slower here. It took me time to understand this. Meaning, it's not so much about I need to buy a drill bit. Okay, if we go back to our example of drill bit. It's really more of like, what is out there that can help me create this hole? Maybe there's a laser pen, which can do it. The job, it's about the job. So if a laser pen does it well, I'm going to get the laser pen. Okay. If, actually, you know what? Let's do the transportation example here. We started with horses way back when, then we got cars. The job is transportation. Okay. It doesn't matter how you get transported over there. You can go with a bike. Okay. Or you can use that, I think that thing's called a hoverboard. I've never rode one, so you now know my age. So I don't know what it's called, but I think it's a hoverboard. And it's a form of transportation properly, right? You decide what the job of I need to be transported from A to B, that job can be fulfilled by multiple products. Okay, so jobs are solution agnostic. When you're trying to think of what is the job my customer is trying to do, this should help you realize that it's not about any specific product. So when you're going to ask them questions about their job, do not ask them about their use of the solution. Okay, and another day, maybe we'll be able to have another webinar where we'll go really deep on how to conduct job to be done interviews. Okay, not today though. Today is the concept. I'm introducing the concept. Okay, and then jobs are stable over time, and I'm going to explain exactly how. This is an example. Let's look at the job which we all love. Don't you just love babies? Anyway, babies, music. Look at this gentleman enjoying the music. This is a job almost I hope all of us, most of us, enjoy or imagine we could enjoy, okay? Listening to music, all right? Now, let's go through the ages and understand the different ways in which different solutions were used to accomplish the same job. Way, way, way back when, we used to have the gramophone. I don't think any one of us was born at that time, okay? But it was there. It was a way of listening to music. Then we had the radio. These still exist, but there was a time when these were the only way you could be able to listen to music apart from live, listening to live music. Then we had the vinyl records, and if anybody remembers, if anyone, don't date yourself, but if you remember them, they were a thing at some point, okay? Then we had CDs. We no longer even have computers that can take CDs. If your computer has a CD holder, it's about to get replaced, if not already. Then we went to MP3. If we had a lot of time, we would have done this together. Like you'd have been putting in the chat, which other technology next. Notice all these technologies are doing the same job. The job is constant, okay? And then after that, it's kind of where we are right now. We are on streaming, right? Well, can anybody guess what's gonna come next? I do not have the answer to that, but seeing the history of this is 1, 2, 3, this is about 7 different devices, and I might have left out 1 or 2, I'm not sure. It's very possible that streaming is not going to be the end all be all way to listen to music. Now, why did I show you all these images? I needed to show you this to help you understand that people are not married to your product. They are married to getting the job done better, cheaper, or faster. That's your priority. If what you do is help people get their job done better, cheaper, faster, then you will be so valuable to them, okay? Netflix has reinvented itself as a company thrice. They started by they would mail over to you DVDs, actually, I don't think they were DVDs. I think I haven't forgotten what they were called, but they were those big bulky things, but they would mail them to you, or you'd walk into the store and you would buy it. They had to reinvent themselves in order to remain relevant. Remember, what is the need of the market? They've reinvented themselves thrice. And now they are not just a streaming company, but now they even own their own content, okay? Oh, sorry, the cassette was somewhere in the middle, but I'm not gonna talk about the cassette. Sorry, guys, I was wondering why there was a gap at that point. So you've now understood as much as can be what a job to be done is. So let's go into how to use that to then build a valuable business idea, build certainty, move from just being a hypothesis to being a proven idea, okay? That's what we're doing now, okay? We're gonna get very, very practical through 8 steps, fairly simple. So the first step, we've talked about this, understand what your customer's job is. That's step 1, not the business plan. Step 1 is, what is the job, what is the outcome they are trying to accomplish? Okay, that's step 1. Once you understand that, as part of continuing to understand the customer's job, there are other elements which you factor in. You are trying to next understand what are the pain points which they feel. Pain points could be obstacles, risks, annoying things, frustrations. Like, what are the pain points they go through while they're trying to accomplish this job? If I am to just use our music example, which we've just been in, I remember CDs would get scratched. That was a massive pain point. They were so delicate. They could scratch easily. They could, I don't know, like if by mistake it got cracked, like they could easily break. Like that was a major pain point. And so just a little scratch could render your entire CD useless. That was really a pain point. Well, streaming solved for that. We no longer have to deal with scratchy CDs, So that's an example of understanding a pain point and creating a solution that solves for that pain point, okay? So That's step 2, understand the pain. All this is a conversation with your customers or potential customers for that matter, if it's still an idea. And remember, you're not asking them about the solution they're using per se. You're trying to understand what is the pain, what is the outcome, what is the pain. And then you're going to try and understand, well, gains are literally what we mean by how do they measure success? You know, like, okay, so what does it mean to, you know, a lot of things are very subjective. So you can ask them things like, okay, how would you measure and say that this was a job well done? This product helped me get my job done really well. You need to hear it from their perspective, not yours, not in your head. The biggest thing you're going to do is you're going to have to really get out of your head and really try and hear their language. How do they measure success in their words? Okay, that's what understanding the gain is. Okay, this is an odd example, but I have to bring it up. Toilet paper. Why do you buy Charmin, the soft one, versus Charmin strong, or not Charmin at all? Some people say Charmin maybe is a little too soft. Some say, I love the softness. So the job is the same, but how the customer measures it differs. Like, so if you want the folks who want the softer stuff, it's probably going to be Charmin. If it's those who want the more hard stuff, they're probably not going to be going to Charmin. The point is, understand your specific customers and how they measure success. Then once you've done that, you've listed all their jobs. You know, there's not only one job. They're like micro jobs under the main job: functional, emotional, social. You list all their pains, you list all their gains, and then you rank them. That is step 4. You rank the jobs, the pains, and the gains, because you do not want to be solving for an insignificant job. They may mention it as a job, but it's in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really matter to me. I really do not need to necessarily go to that place. You know, if you're the one solving for the insignificant job, yes, you did your homework, but guess what? You may need to pivot your product to be able to start serving a job that is so important to them that they will move heaven and earth to be able to find something that will help them get the job done. Also similar with pains, solve for the extreme pains, not the moderate pains. Like if something's not really hurting them, and like, no, it doesn't really bother me much, that's a signal to you that, whoa, I should not pursue this idea. It's not painful enough for folks to want to pay money for it. Okay, and the same with the gains. Then step 5, we're getting to the end, I promise. You then is when you can start talking about your solution. All this time, we've just been trying to understand the customer need. Yes, the customer was king, but it was specifically the customer's job, the customer's outcomes. That's the king part. That's the customer is king part. Then is when you go back to your garage, whatever it is in your head, and design a product or a service that directly correlates to that job. Okay, that's step 5. Step 6, you are then going to design pain relievers. Those are going to be features within your product which directly correlate to those pains that they mentioned. Okay, and then you probably know what step 7 is. You guessed it. You then design what we call gain creators, things which help them to achieve that outcome based upon their definition of success. Okay, this is all a part of your product design. And then after you do that, you're going to go to the field. All this is going to the field. and you're going to see if they fit. If you've attained a state, this is the hallowed state, which we call fit. When you've attained fit, it means that your job, your job enablers, your product is what we call the job enabler, is actually fulfilling a job that the customer actually needs, the customer actually has. And you are actually relieving actual pains that they have, and you're actually creating actual gains for them. If you can actually map out your product, your idea on a wall, wherever it is, however it is you brainstorm, like this, where you can map, match, and it actually does make sense, then my friends, you're in a good spot. Okay. You are basically have achieved what we call a state of fit. Okay. Now, there are two types of fit. Most people talk about product market fit. Okay, which is basically a state where you have market evidence that your product has gained traction. Well, my news to you is you do not get product market fit until you have problem solution fit. Okay, those sticks, those like the butterfly, I call it the butterfly, those 6 steps like the butterfly. The butterfly needs both sides of the wings to fly. Okay, the solution does not exist on its own. The solution is in service to the customer's job or the customer's need. Okay, all right, I'm going to hurry it up a little bit because I know we're running out of time. We're actually at the end, people. I've put some helpful tools together for you. We do not necessarily need to go through every tool here, but I'll just tell you real quick how this works. This is a quick value check, okay, where you can fill in the blanks. If you can articulate this for your product, for your service, where you say, whatever your product or service is, meaning the job enabler, okay, whatever job it enables, helps. You should be able to talk about your customer segments in terms of their jobs, pains, and gains. Like, don't just say women who are 30 years and above. Actually describe the pain you're solving for them or the job, okay? Their actual profile. I'm not talking about demographic, psychographic here. In fact, I rarely ever talk about demographics and psychographics, okay? Mainly because it's about the job at the end of the day, okay? Who want to get job X done, whatever job X is, fill in the blank, okay? By whether that would be, you fill in the blank with your verb, whether you're relieving a pain or whether you are enabling a gain. It's a verb. It's got to be a verb. Verb means it's a doing word, okay? Reducing, avoiding. It's got to be a doing word. Unlike, and then you can put whatever alternatives or competitors are out there, if at all you want to put that. So this is a tool. You can use this. You'll fill in the blanks. You'll have the slides and all that. This is another tool. I'm not going to go into it, but this will help you with your elevator pitch. If you're trying to describe to somebody exactly what your product is, whatever we help, customer X, and you describe the customer, not in terms of the psychographics, demographics, you are describing them in terms of the jobs, the pain points, okay, what they do, and how you have created a product that is a job enabler to what they're doing and the gains that it gives them. This is a test card, which actually helps you test your hypothesis. Step 1, you're going to fill in the blanks, like you actually write this out where you say, we believe that, or I believe that. All of you guys who put it in the chat that you have an idea and all that, I need to hurry up. We're almost running out of time. We believe that whatever hypothesis you have, whatever the idea is, we believe that people in this area need this product, okay? Step 2, to test that, to verify that, we will, and you specify what you're going to do to test it. We will talk to 50 of them, or we will send a pre-order form. Like, they're different tests. That's another conversation for another day. Business tests, okay? And to measure that, the metric which we're using is, say, for example, if 50 of them sign up on the pre-order form, that's our metric. If less than 50 sign up, that means there's no demand, okay? And you specify the criteria. We are right if X amount sign up, or whatever that is. This is what we call a test card. Then this is a learning card. This is the final tool. Then I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, sorry, I'm not going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop talking. The learning card, you actually track what you've learned. Like, don't guess it in your head. Actually write this down. You, your team, whoever is involved in building this idea, this is what we believed in step 1, in the hypothesis. Step 2, we observed that, whatever the observation was, people did not sign up, whatever, I don't know what it was. We learned that our idea is great, it just needs some tweaking, or we need to kill the idea, whatever it is. And therefore our action is, now that you've learned what you've learned, don't be stubborn, people. Listen to the data. No matter how beautiful your idea is, listen to the data from your customers. That, my friends, is how you test your business idea, using jobs to be done theory, before you go all in and write business plans and things that just don't work. Okay, I do not think I'm going to dwell on this slide for too long. I can absolutely put in the chat my website for you to be able to reach me, just because we are almost out of time and I really want to get to your questions. So thank you, all of you, seriously. Oh, there's my email. It's connect@theventureos.com. There I am. Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn too. If you're on LinkedIn, if you love LinkedIn, I'm there. Okay. Or you can reach out to the lovely team of NDI.